Conquest of Riyadh, the pivotal recapture of Riyadh in 1902, which served as a turning point in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. Strategies employed by Abdul Aziz to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule in the region. Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud, the future founder of Saudi Arabia, recaptured Riyadh from the rival house of Rashid in 1902 and a key turning point of his quest for power in Central Arabia. He went on to solidify his rule in the region through a combination of military force, religious authority, and political acumen. The recapture of Riyadh was a significant victory for Abdul Aziz. Not only did it boost his military prestige, but it also increased his religious legitimacy in the eyes of the conservative Bedouin tribesmen who made up the bulk of his forces. In addition, the capture of the city gave Abdul Aziz a much-needed base of operations in Central Arabia. Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud was born in Saudi Arabia in 1876. He was the son of Abdul Rahman ibn Faisal, the Emir of Najd, and Al-Jafara bint Turki al-Sudari. Abdul Aziz's early life was spent in the company of Bedouin tribesmen, who taught him the skills of warfare and horsemanship. In 1902, at the age of 26, he recaptured Riyadh from the rival house of Rashid. This victory was a turning point in 1. The recapture of Riyadh in 1902 was a pivotal moment in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. 2. Strategies employed by Abdul Aziz to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule in the region included increasing the size of his army, purchasing more and better weapons, recruiting experienced military leaders. 3. These strategies paid off, and Abdul Aziz's forces were able to retake Riyadh from the rival Al Saud clan. 4. This victory solidified Abdul Aziz's control over Central Arabia and paved the way for his future successes. 5. It also served as a rallying point for other tribes who pledged their allegiance to Abdul Aziz and helped him to expand his territory. 6. The recapture of Riyadh was a significant milestone in Abdul Aziz's drive to unify the Arabian Peninsula under his rule. 7. It also laid the foundations for the modern Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. 1. The recapture of Riyadh in 1902 was a pivotal moment in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. In 1902, Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud recaptured Riyadh from the rival Al-Rashid clan, in a key turning point during his quest for power in the Arabian Peninsula. The successful strategy employed by Abdul Aziz against the Al-Rashid force was twofold. First, he utilized a strong propaganda campaign to rally support from other Arabia tribes. Second, he made a strategic alliance with the British, who were interested in countering Ottoman expansion in the region. This pivotal victory allowed Abdul Aziz to consolidate his rule over Central Arabia and lay the foundation for the future Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. The decisive recapture of Riyadh demonstrated Abdul Aziz's military prowess and political shrewdness, and cemented his position as a key player in the Arab world. 2. Strategies employed by Abdul Aziz to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule in the region included Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud, the founder and first monarch of Saudi Arabia, was a skilled military strategist who employed a variety of tactics to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule in the region. In 1902, at a pivotal moment in his quest for power, Abdul Aziz recaptured the city of Riyadh from the rival house of Rashid. This victory was crucial in consolidating Abdul Aziz's control over the central Najd region and establishing the Saudi dynasty. In the years that followed, Abdul Aziz continued to expand his territory and consolidate his power. He did this by forming alliances with other tribes, often through marriage, by paying bribes, and by playing off rival clans and factions against each other. He also used military force when necessary, as in 1908 when he crushed a rebellion by the rival Al-Murrah tribe. This victory boosted his popularity among other tribes and strengthened his grip on power. Abdul Aziz was a master of psychological warfare, using religious rhetoric and symbols to win support and legitimize his rule. He also knew how to play to the media, granting interviews to Western journalists and allowing them to film and photograph his military campaigns. All of these strategies helped Abdul Aziz to build a strong base of support among the people of the Arabian Peninsula, and eventually establish the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, increasing the size of his army. As Abdul Aziz continued his quest for power, he realized that he would need to increase the size of his army if he wanted to be successful. To do this, he began to reach out to other tribal leaders and offer them a place in his army. He also promised them a share of the spoils if they were successful in battle. This offer was very enticing to many of the tribal leaders, and as a result, his army began to grow. In addition to increasing the size of his army, Abdul Aziz also began to consolidate his power in the region. He did this by establishing a capital in Riyadh and creating a centralized government. He also began to standardize laws and create a currency. By doing this, Abdul Aziz was able to gain control over the various tribes in the region and create a more unified Saudi Arabia. The capture of Riyadh in 1902 was a pivotal moment in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. The victory allowed him to consolidate his control over the region and establish a strong central government. It also increased the size of his army and gave him a much-needed boost of confidence. The capture of Riyadh was a turning point in Abdul Aziz's quest for power, and it served as a foundation for the modern Saudi Arabia that we know today. Purchasing more and better weapons. At the turn of the 20th century, Abdul Aziz was intent on consolidating his power in the region and strengthening his forces. In 1902, the recapture of Riyadh was a pivotal moment in his quest for power. Abdul Aziz employed several strategies to achieve this goal. First, he worked to improve the quality of his weapons. He purchased more and better guns, and invested in training his men to use them effectively. Second, he strengthened his alliances with other tribes. He did this by forming marriage alliances and giving gifts to key tribal leaders. This helped him to build a base of support among the tribes. Finally, Abdul Aziz worked to improve his own military skills. He studied military tactics and strategy, and learned from his mistakes. This helped him to become a more effective leader and strategist. The recapture of Riyadh was a turning point in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. By employing these strategies, he was able to consolidate his rule in the region and build a strong foundation for the future. Recruiting experienced military leaders. In order to recapture Riyadh in 1902, Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud employed a variety of strategies to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule in the region. One of the most important tactics he used was recruiting experienced military leaders. This not only helped him gain the military expertise he needed to take back Riyadh, but also allowed him to build up a loyal and reliable force that would support him in his quest for power. Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud worked hard to find the right military leaders to join his cause. He reached out to a variety of sources, including family members, friends, and other contacts in the region. He also offered financial incentives to those who agreed to join his ranks. This helped him attract some of the most experienced and talented military leaders in the region. Once he had assembled a team of military experts, Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud began to implement a series of strategies that would help him conquer Riyadh. He launched a series of military offensives, using the knowledge and experience of his military leaders to guide his forces. He also worked to secure alliances with other powerful groups in the region. This allowed him to build up his strength and resources, giving him the best chance of success in his quest to capture Riyadh. Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud's efforts paid off in 1902, when he successfully recaptured Riyadh from the Al-Rashid clan. This victory was a turning point in his quest for power, and cemented his position as one of the most important leaders in the region. The strategies he employed during the conquest of Riyadh would continue to serve him well in the years to come, as he working to consolidate his rule over the Arabian Peninsula. These strategies paid off, and Abdul Aziz's forces were able to retake Riyadh from the rival Al Saud clan. When Abdul Aziz Ibn Saud recaptured Riyadh from the rival Al Saud clan in 1902, it was a turning point in his quest for power in the region. The strategies he employed to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule paid off, and his forces were able to retake Riyadh. Abdul Aziz used a number of strategies to consolidate his power and defeat the Al Saud clan. He recruited a powerful tribal leader, Khalid ibn al-Walid, to his cause. He also enlisted the help of the Rashid tribe, who were traditional enemies of the Al Saud clan. This tribe provided Abdul Aziz with money, men, and weapons. Abdul Aziz also made alliances with other powerful clans in the region, such as the Al-Mishri and Al-Mora. These alliances helped him to gain the support of other clans in the area and to increase his own power. Finally, Abdul Aziz used a combination of military force and diplomacy to defeat the Al Saud clan. He launched a series of attacks on their strongholds, and he also negotiated with some of the clan's members, offering them amnesty if they surrendered. The strategies employed by Abdul Aziz led to the defeat of the Al Saud clan and the consolidation of his power in the region. This victory solidified Abdul Aziz's control over Central Arabia and paved the way for his future successes. The recapture of Riyadh in 1902 was a turning point in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. The strategies employed by Abdul Aziz to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule in the region played a pivotal role in this victory. By consolidating his control over Central Arabia, Abdul Aziz paved the way for future successes. Following his victory at Riyadh, Abdul Aziz continued to employ strategies that would help him consolidate his power in the region. He continued to build up his forces, making sure that he had a strong military presence in the region. He also worked to build alliances with other powerful figures in the Arabian Peninsula. By doing so, Abdul Aziz was able to increase his own power and influence, making it easier for him to achieve his goals. The victory at Riyadh was a significant turning point in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. The strategies that he used to consolidate his control over Central Arabia played a pivotal role in this victory. By building up his military forces and consolidating his alliances, Abdul Aziz was able to set the stage for future successes. Recapturing Riyadh in 1902 proved to be a pivotal moment in Abdul Aziz's quest for power. The strategies he employed to strengthen his forces and consolidate his rule in the region proved to be very effective. He was able to build a strong base of support and create a powerful military force that helped him to achieve his goals. The recapture of Riyadh was a major victory for Abdul Aziz, and it helped him to establish his dominance in the region.